Hi, everyone. Professor Sweeter. Hi. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Tuesday. It is rainy and gloomy and gross out there, but we need it too, right? I don't know about you, but with it being Amazon Prime Day, I've been going kind of nuts. Santa Claus is just about done with her shopping, so that's a good thing too. So let's talk about this week. We are officially in week 6 of the semester. What this means is we are nearing our halfway point. What that also means is in the next few weeks, several of you will be ending your half mod classes, or you'll be beginning your half mod classes for the second mod. So I want to remind you to just be conscientious about the amount of work that you have and the amount of time that you have to complete some of those half mod class assignments. And I'm in a similar situation. I'm picking up 2 classes starting in about 2 weeks. And so I can appreciate that things get a little bit frantic, especially towards the end of October. This week, I have a pretty short video for you. I front loaded the past few weeks with information about the midterms. There's not a lot that I need to talk to you about today, but I did want to take some time to share some really important stuff with you. First of all, I do want to address the video Q&As. Last week you had one titled Reflecting on Language. This week you have one having to do with listening. And I do want to acknowledge that several of you have reached out to me that the assignment doesn't seem to be working for everyone. Some of you, it's working just fine and I've gotten your assignments, no problem. But for some of you, it didn't work at all and you're concerned. And whether you reached out to me by text or by email, I'm trying to address those one by one. Please do me this favor. Go back and look and see if you have a grade for last week's. Again, it's the chapter 4 Q&A, and it has to do with, I just lost it, language, jargon, a time that you felt like an insider, a time that you felt like an outsider, that sort of thing. If you have a grade for it, great, we're good, we're done. But if you don't, please do one of the 2 following, and I leave it up to you, whichever one you choose. Please either try to do the assignment again, or feel free to just email me directly with your answers to the 2 questions. I want to make sure that everyone has an equal playing field there, okay? As for the chapter 5 one, which has to do with listening, I don't know yet if it will be problematic like the chapter 4 one is. So I'm gonna just kind of play that one by ear for now and encourage you to log in and do the recording as you normally would. All right. Hopefully we'll be able to figure it out soon though, and get everyone on the same page. What else do I want to talk to you about? This week we are looking at chapter 5, listening. I always laugh a little bit with this particular chapter because it just strikes me as the opposite of what we're doing in communication. But the reality is listening is a very, very significant part of communication. And if you don't believe me, think about a time where, well, this is me to a T, where you're multitasking and someone's trying to talk to you and you're just not there and you don't hear what they say. I find I do that with my husband a lot. Sorry, honey. So listening is a very valid unit when we talk about communications. Please notice that this is a relatively short unit. You don't have a lot of extra homework assignments with it, and that is because I am encouraging you instead to focus on the midterm presentation. So let's talk about the midterms. Yay! At this point, almost everyone has completed the thesis statement and they've gotten my approval. So you should all be looking at your outlines. Last week, I recorded a 16-minute long video for you on outlines and how you can approach that part of the project. And I am eagerly looking forward to those. Those are due to me by Sunday, the 18th. Please feel free to send them to me early. If you choose to do that, I will have more time to look at it. I can get it back to you sooner. And in some cases, I might even be able to look at your outline, 2-3 times if necessary. Okay, so feel free to send them to me as soon as they're ready to go. A couple tips for you in terms of the outlines. Please remember that this is a spoken presentation. It's not something where you're reading. And so what that means for your outlines is you want to avoid complete sentences and paragraphs as much as possible. I have seen a few outlines already where people are writing complete sentences. And quite honestly, it reads a lot like a paper, like an essay. And I get why you would want to approach this assignment that way, but the reality is it's not going to help you. So please go back, look at your outlines, make sure that we're looking at short, brief, choppy sentences. And I shouldn't even say sentences, but bullet points. All right. The sample outline that I gave you last week is great, but I also know that it does have complete sentences and paragraphs. And so I want you to avoid that as much as possible. The other thing I want you to be aware of is because this is a speech, you want to keep it short and conversational and light. Many of us have this great habit of writing these beautiful sentences and paragraphs and essays, and they're expertly crafted. And so now as we're trying to write an outline, I've noticed a few of you have tried to do the same thing in your outlines, your thesis statements. You're writing these beautiful crafted sentences that have a lot of detail and explanation and use, pardon me, highfalutin language. And that is perfect when you're writing an essay. But remember, guys, you're writing a speech, and a speech is supposed to be more like a conversation. You do not, in most cases, want to speak in such a way or use language in such a way that will alienate your audience. I can assure you that the way I'm talking to you now and the way I write my own papers, the language is totally different. And again, that's a key part of communication. In the event of a speech, your audience is listening to you and they're hearing what you have to say. And so if you use language that is too esoteric or too challenging or words that are too big, quite honestly, people just tune out and they don't pay attention to what you have to say. And that's something we want to avoid. So even if it's a challenging topic, even if it's a very inspirational or very dense topic, we want to condense it and keep that language simple and clear and easy for your audience to understand. All right. The last thing I just want to remind you is, I've seen a couple people ask me about this. For this particular assignment, you do not need to have visuals. I appreciate that the assignment that you printed out has visuals on there. Please remember that it's one assignment that we use for both on-ground and online classes, and that's why you see it. So please do not worry about visuals. Do not worry about index cards, because quite honestly, when you give your speech, you'll be working on a short outline like you see there. And that'll be the outline that you submit at the end. All right, my friends, that's it for this particular video. Again, I'm looking forward to your outlines. Those are due by Sunday. I hope you have a fabulous week, especially as soon as this rain stops. And I will talk to you very soon. Thanks so much, everyone.